Hey UBTV, so I'm coming today with this video to kind of go off of the first video I did, actually my very first video in Single Being Free. And I'm coming to talk about being single and how it's not always a bad thing. People say, you know, nobody is meant to be alone. Well, I'm not saying to be single and be alone or lonely or anything like that. But being single gives you a chance to get to know who the heck you are. I mean, you better learn who you are, or when you get into something else, somebody will turn you into who they want you to be. So you have to know who you are. Take time while you're single, if you are single, to get to know who you are. You may have some unresolved issues in your life or unresolved problems in relationships with people in your family that will affect you in your relationship whenever you decide to get into a relationship, really. So if you got problems with your parents or broken relationships with your parents, if they are still alive and you have knowledge of their whereabouts and you have the opportunity or the ability to get to know them or make amends with them, then do that. Do that, because certain things about relationships with men or with women will be affected by the way your relationship was with your parents. Parents, siblings, or whoever was a very important key to your life and your upbringing. So you had to resolve those issues first, because you don't want them to resurface once you get into a real relationship. Another thing is you got to learn to forgive people. If you have things or unforgiveness still in your heart, that's another thing that's going to be affected by your relationship. Because if somebody that you're in a relationship with does things to you that remind you of somebody that you had a problem with before, and you never forgave the person before, then you're taking out on the person that you're with. So you gotta clear up any unforgiveness. And it's not just for the person, not for you to just forgive them. It's not helping them as much as helping you. Forgiveness is for yourself. The other thing is while you're taking this time to be single, learn some of the things that you like to do and do those things that you like to do. Work on the goals and stuff that you never had the opportunity to do because you were in a relationship that kind of took so much time away from you having the ability to accomplish some of the stuff that you wanted. Know what it is that you like. And that way, when you get into a relationship, that you will continue to do those things you like and introduce those things to the person that you're dealing with, so they will get to know you and get to know the things that you like. How else will you know what you like if you don't try those things or accomplish some of the stuff that you wanted to accomplish first? Because trust me, sometimes when you get into a relationship, you could be so consumed with making them happy and being in that relationship that you totally stop doing the stuff that you used to love doing. The next thing is, you know, if you say that you want a God-fearing man, or you want a man that is in love with the Lord and like you are and loves Christ like you do, then if you're not actively going to church or actively involved in church or ministry or anything like that, then how do you expect to get to meet people that are have the same purpose that you do, that are serving the Lord like you are? How do you think you're going to find that person unless you're actively involved in what you love to do, and that's serving God? The way you meet people that have like minds is to get involved in things that you like to do or that you're doing. You know, so you can't say, I want a man that's a Christian man, but you never go to church, you're never in the ministry, you're never at church to even meet somebody. So if you want to see somebody serving God and you want to see somebody that is really in love with God and they're showing it, you have to do that or see that by being in that arena. Okay. And also if you're somebody that's like me, that I like paying my bills on time. I like to get rid of anxiety by paying stuff when it's due. I don't want to pay my rent or pay my mortgage late because I don't want to pay late fees. And if you're that type of person that is really serious about that type of thing, then the last person you need to be involved with is somebody that you have observed that doesn't pay their bills on time, or doesn't have a respect for the way you feel about taking care of your business financially. Because trust me, that is the worst thing to do, is to get involved with somebody that you see is reckless with money, and you know that is not you. You know that is not something that you like, because if that is not resolved prior to getting into a real relationship or a marriage with somebody, oh, trust me, it is going to, oh my goodness, it's going to freak your marriage up or freak your relationship up, because that is going to be a battle that is never going to go away, because that is the person that you got involved with. So if that's not something that you can deal with, then don't get involved with it. And if you see it and they're not willing to change, then you know you shouldn't get involved. Oh my goodness. Also, if you have a problem with lying or liars, and you see somebody that you're getting to know, and in a relationship or the very beginning stages of relationship, all they do is lie to you. You're always catching them in the lies, and they always got excuses for why they're lying. Tell me, why in the world would you get involved with somebody that is a constant liar? You think that's going to be any different because you're getting into a relationship? No, they need to work them things out prior to that, because it's not going to get any better just because you got involved with them. And you can't say, oh, you know, well, things will get better, things will change. No, they won't. Things have to be resolved prior to. If that is who they are, then that's who they're going to be when you get into the relationship. One of the things that get on my nerves is somebody that cusses fluently. Cusses fluently. You see them, you associate with them, they're just, oh my goodness, it bothers you so bad. And you think that if you get into a relationship with them, they're going to respect you and not curse around you and things like, oh, no. I hate being around somebody and I'm out in public standing in the line and you're having a conversation with them, and then every other word out their mouth is bitch and f this and oh my gosh, and I mean just stuff that are just so vulgar, and you think, you know, that's going to be a difference in them. What's going to happen is that you get into a relationship with them and then you say, man, watch your mouth. Don't tell me how to talk. You can't tell me what to say out of my mouth. That's my mouth. So guess what? It's going to become one of your arguments. Next thing is you got people that get into relationships and you got one party that loves having sex. You got the other person that hates having sex or doesn't like to have sex that often. And you think when you get into a relationship that you can control that piece. Well, no, you cannot. If they're highly sexual before you got married, they're going to be very highly sexual after. More than anything, they're going to figure that you owe them. It is your duty to give up that booty. Trust me. I'm sorry to say that, and I hope I didn't offend nobody. But believe me, know who it is that you're dealing with, and know if you're not a highly sexual person and you get involved with a highly sexual person, trouble. And last thing, I challenge you to understand exactly who you are and what is a problem for you prior to getting involved with somebody. Don't assume that just because you get involved that it's going to be changed. If you don't see it in their characteristic and you don't see that they have a problem with the way they are, it's not going to be any different just because you get into a relationship. Not at all. So those are my little tips, you know, just something to think about. And oh, one more thing. Don't criticize people for something that they cannot change. If you're involved with somebody and there's something about them that they cannot change, don't keep bringing it up as a criticism about them. Because if they're not able to change it, then it shouldn't even been brought out in the atmosphere. Keep it to yourself. If you meet them and they were really big and you really don't like dealing with really big people, oversized people, you know, don't criticize them about that. If they're having problems with weight, then they need to resolve that prior to. Don't criticize somebody for something that they absolutely can't change. If they're itty bitty, really short, and that's really not your thing, don't keep telling them about how short they are and that's, oh, you really don't like that characteristic, because all you're going to do is give people a complex. Some things don't need to be put out in the atmosphere. Yeah, some people are secure in the way they are and they're okay with that, and that's fine. But don't you be that person that's going to continually criticize them about that characteristic that they have no control over. If they are dark skinned, then they can't change being dark skinned. If they are light skinned, they may not be able to change being light skinned. Yeah, they might be able to do a sun, you know, get in the sun and get a tan and stuff like that. But don't criticize permanent characteristics of people if they have no ability to change them. Just a tip. All right, y'all take care. To the next video, like the video if I said something that you liked. Share the video if you think it's something somebody else needs to hear. Otherwise, my channel is not going to go nowhere. Until the next time. Talk to y'all later.